some reason this is your first video of mine that you are watching on my channel, my content focuses a lot on lifestyle, which is extremely broad, but I do like to focus in on health, wellness, fitness, body positivity, mental health, things that just matter the most to me and things that I'm interested in. I love sharing my life online, and I also love sharing with you guys things that work, things that don't work, and just kind of feeling like we're hanging out all the time, just like two pals hanging out. Not only here on my YouTube channel, but also on my podcast, Girl on the Internet. If you haven't heard it, you can stream it on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor. I do like to give a little bit of life advice. I like to just have very open, candid conversations about life and the things that are hard and the things that we struggle with, and just kind of sharing my 2 cents through life, especially navigating your 20s, because it's crazy out here. I definitely feel like I'm always sharing videos on my channel of ways to create a healthy routine, or workout routines that have been successful for me, or what I eat in a day videos that share with you guys some of my favorite foods and how to cook them, and just how to live as balanced of a life as possible. Because I'm always creating videos and sharing things about what's going right, what's working well, what works well for me, I wanted to dedicate this video to things that have not gone great and misconceptions and mistakes I've made along the way in figuring out what health and wellness really means to me, mistakes I've made on my journey to eating better, mistakes I've made along my fitness journey, and share them with you and just kind of talk you through some mistakes that I have made. Because I never want it to appear like my life is perfect in any way, especially when putting it online, and especially when it comes to the whole health journey. That has been the opposite of a linear path for me. It has been like this forever, and I'm still figuring things out. I'm definitely not saying that you also have to avoid these things I'm about to talk about, but these are just things that kind of became bumps in the road for me, and I didn't really realize until later that they actually weren't helping me be successful, and they really weren't benefiting me in any way. So without further ado, these are mistakes and things I wish I knew sooner before embarking on a health and wellness fitness journey. My biggest mistake, and something that it has took me forever and a day to realize, is that this all or nothing attitude and mindset is insanely toxic. For example, I used to think that like if I had a donut for breakfast, and we'll categorize donut as bad, I would literally think to myself that I couldn't go to the gym for the rest of the day or eat healthy the rest of the day because of that one single meal or that one single bad thing that I had. Toxic AF. If I wasn't going to the gym for a full hour, then my workout didn't even count. Don't even think about doing a 20-minute workout because that doesn't count. Again, these were just things that I put in my brain, I think partially due to diet culture, but also just being irrational, you know, up in here. Sometimes your brain just tricks you, and those were things that I thought for a very, very long time. Another mistake that I made, and something that I wish I definitely knew sooner, is that one size does not fit all. And I don't mean this literally as in clothing, I mean this as in lifestyle, health choices, diets, certain workouts. One size doesn't fit all. If you're scrolling on Instagram and you're seeing like a super thin girl with a perfect body, whatever workout and diet routine that she is following doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. People live such completely different lives, and we all have different things that make up who we are. We're all unique in that way, if you will, but different genetics, different body compositions, different environments that we live in, different comorbidities, different things that make up who we are. So if you follow the exact same diet and workout program as somebody else, does not mean that your body is going to look like them, or it doesn't even mean that you're going to be like them in the long run. Just because everybody is vegan, it doesn't necessarily mean veganism is going to work well for you. Just because everybody is doing CrossFit doesn't necessarily mean CrossFit is going to be the best type of exercise for you. This is something that I really did not start realizing until this year specifically. I used to focus so much on the amount of calories, fat, protein, carbs in food that I wasn't really paying much attention to the quality of the food. I would buy the low calorie, high protein chips from the store, or the high protein, low calorie, low carb snacks, but the ingredients that are in some of these quote healthy snacks doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option for you. So a mistake that I made in my health journey was just not paying attention to the quality of the food that I was eating. Just because it's low calorie, just because it's going to help you hit your protein goal, just because fill in the blank doesn't necessarily mean that it's better for you. For example, I would much rather use that 0-calorie cooking spray to make eggs with than anything else. But now I look back and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a allegedly a 0-calorie spray, but like what all is in that spray, you know? Now I would much rather cook with olive oil because olive oil is natural, it has amazing health benefits, and so what if it's a little bit higher in fat and caloric value? Knowing that it's a more natural thing that's going into my body, I almost could care less about the calories. Does that make sense? If I can buy the bag of chips that are made with avocado oil or olive oil instead of canola oil, like I'm going to opt for that. Doesn't mean I'm like afraid of canola oil or seed oils or inflammatory things and all these like stupid buzzwords that fake fitness influencers are using now. But when I can do my best to opt for the cleaner ingredient food or the cleaner ingredients in general, I'm gonna try my best. Again, go look in my pantry right now. It's not perfect. I have plenty of things and snacks that I can't pronounce the ingredients and I'm sure they're not great for you. So I'm not saying that you have to eliminate everything all at once or else it's a big mistake. But when I can make the conscious effort, I definitely try. If I could go back in time and tell my like 15-year-old self this one, it would be that you gotta stop expecting quick results for anything. And I'm not even talking about weight loss or being healthy or anything like that. Just in life in general, you gotta stop expecting quick results, especially if you're working hard for something. So I feel like when I was younger and I would do the whole like diet culture thing, I would race to the finish line of like, I'm gonna be this weight by summer, I'm gonna do this by this time, I'm gonna lose X amount of pounds by X amount of months. Just expecting these quick and unrealistic results is just what's going to get you in trouble. Again, like I'm making this video specifically to tell you about mistakes I have made. These are not things that I learned like that. It took trial and error and it took years to actually learn from my mistakes. So with anything, good things take time. You're gonna learn from your mistakes. Stop expecting these like huge monumental results to happen in a week, in 2 months, in a year. It takes time. You're just gonna learn as you go. Now, if I'm gonna mention the part of health and wellness that kind of relates to fitness and bodies, weighing yourself every day is not the thing to do. Weighing yourself every day, measuring yourself every day, taking photos of yourself every day, that ain't it. Also, it's like a little eating disorder-y, so like we don't need to do that. But that was a huge mistake I made, especially early on in my young adult life, and I was like really focused on trying to be fit and healthy, thinking that weighing myself every day would be motivating or keep me on track or whatever. It actually did the opposite because I would actually be upset and irritated and frankly just upset that weighing myself every day and not watching my weight go down, it made me like frustrated, it made me want to quit. So we don't do that anymore. We don't weigh ourselves every day. It's not worth it because here's the thing. I have my own theories about weight in general, but like you're stepping your entire body on the scale. That's a lot of organs, that's a lot of bones, that's a lot of muscle mass, that's a lot of bone density, your brain, your hair, whatever else, right? Water retention, blood, other fluids and other bodily things. Like it's all just so much. You can take a giant and then get on the scale and have lost 3 pounds. Does that mean anything? No, it just means that you lost 3 pounds of shit, okay? So like weighing yourself every day, it does nothing. It does you no good other than make you anxious and frustrated and feel like that your journey is not going where it needs to go, when in reality, the number doesn't mean anything at that given time. Health and wellness has gotten so popular, especially with the increase in social media and just the availability of information out there. I mean, I see health and wellness TikToks all the time. And I know for me, a mistake that I made was always having the wrong idea of what health was. You know, back in high school, I used to think being the thinnest, smallest version of yourself when I was really struggling with an eating disorder was the epitome of health. Being healthy to me meant being small. And now at almost 27 years old, I have a completely different idea of what health is. Health is so much more than what your body even looks like. It even goes beyond just the food that you eat and the exercise that you do. It's your mental health, it's your relationships, it's how you live in the environment that you live in. It's about taking care of your body just by hydrating it, drinking water. It's about practicing gratitude. It's about doing things that are good for you, like sleeping enough, getting enough vitamins and minerals in your life. It's about forming healthy habits. It's about ditching bad habits like smoking and drinking all the time. Health is just so much more than food and fitness. And that was one of the biggest lessons I've learned on my whole journey of just trying to be a healthier person in general. Health is just such a vast thing, and it doesn't mean that every area of your life has to be perfect and has to be, aligned perfectly in order for you to have good health, but it's important to break down those areas of life and think what needs more work, what needs less work, what's easier for you to overcome, what's harder, and then that's how you get a better picture of health for yourself and you feel like you're at your healthiest version of yourself. Another mistake is just generally being impatient. Thinking that I'm going to be able to cook all these amazing cool recipes all at once or have everything figured out at once. I would learn these coping mechanisms, or I would learn different things online and want to start them all in one day, thinking that if I take on journaling, I'm going to be like an expert journaler on the first try, or even trying a new workout, thinking that, oh my gosh, I want to lift heavy weights. I'm going to go into the gym and try to pick up 30-pound dumbbells and do 30-pound bicep curls. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Trying to look more at this end goal versus actually working my way up to where I want to be or where I imagine myself to be. I have a list going on my phone and I literally just keep looking at each one. I'm just I can think of a very specific moment in time where I learned that mistake. So many of them have multiple definitions, but I can think of very specific moments. And this one is changing too quickly and just not sticking to a routine. And again, this can fall into any category of health. Thinking even about sleeping, trying to just have a good routine of sleeping, 7 to 9 hours a night, making sure I give myself a bedtime, a wake up routine, telling myself I'm not going to go on my phone a certain amount of time before I try to fall asleep. But do I ever stick to that routine? Absolutely not. But then I expect myself to be good at it, but I don't give myself time to practice it. I don't give myself a routine. I don't give myself the consistency to try to get to the other side and be good at it. This next mistake that I've made, and I still feel like I'm making this mistake, so it's honestly still a work in progress for me, but having unrealistic expectations. We've all done this. I've looked at pictures of Kendall Jenner and I'm like, wow, I wish I had her body. If only I just ate like her and did workouts like her, maybe I would look like her. Wrong. Miss Kendall Jenner is 6 feet tall. We have completely different genetics, a completely different life. I will never look like her. Stop following all of these people on your social media that have completely different body types than you, that lead completely different lives than you, have personal trainers, personal chefs, and expect to have their body. And also unrealistic expectations in the sense of why does my morning routine not look as aesthetic and perfect as this girl on TikTok or this girl on YouTube? She drinks a green juice every single day. She presses her own juice at home every single day, and then she runs 10 miles. And then she does yoga in her studio apartment. Why does my morning not look like that? Well, ma'am, because you work in a hospital and you work 12-hour shifts and then you also do YouTube on the side and you have a completely different apartment and you don't own a juice presser, so you can't press your own juices, and you also don't really like to do yoga, so you're not going to do yoga, and you're not very good at running, so you're not going to run 10 miles a day. Okay? And the last thing that I want to share, I feel like I have about 100 more mistakes that I have made on my own health journey, but this one really is the biggest takeaway, and I feel like it's very obvious, but the biggest thing is just don't obsess over it. If you are at a point in your life and you're like, you know what, I haven't really been my healthiest, I've been making poor choices with my nutrition, how I've been treating myself, the environment that I've been living in, the relationships that I've been in, and I want to switch it up. You just have to take it day by day. Don't let it be the first thing that you think about when you wake up in the morning. Don't let it be something that consumes you all throughout the day. And when you lay your head on the pillow at night, you're thinking about the next day. The whole idea of obsessing over a health and fitness journey makes it in return unhealthy. If you're constantly thinking about your size, your body, the food you're about to eat, the workout that you just did, if just so many things are just bombarding your brain, then you're just going to be overwhelmed and you're just going to completely miss the point of what health actually means. Don't completely empty out your pantry from top to bottom and throw everything away and then go to the store and only buy vegetables and clean things and things with perfect ingredients and water. Don't do that. You're going to hate yourself if you throw all of your chocolate and all of your chips and everything in the trash and you try to 180 your life. Don't buy 1,000 journals thinking that you're going to be a perfect journalist after all of this. Take your time with things. Take your time with this transition. Get to know yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and don't obsess about it. Just let things happen, and when you feel yourself starting to obsess or the thoughts are getting too much, just slow down, because you will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of heartbreak if you don't obsess over your health and fitness journey, because you're gonna figure it out and things will fall into place. I know for me that I am learning every single day on my own health and fitness journey. I don't think there's ever going to be an end in sight. I think as long as I'm living on this earth, my health is going to be a constant journey. That's why I call it a journey. I don't ever say like my health history or my whatever. I think it is just an ongoing journey through life, and I learn new things every day, every month, every year, and I'm continuing to grow and be the healthiest person I can try to be for myself that is actually healthy and not obsessive or too far on one side of the spectrum. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video.